Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here on our Total Wellness Tuesday episode, where we are going to be doing a part 2 to last week's episode on high antioxidant foods. So this week, we're going to go through some very simple spices. I'm going to give you 7 of them that you can use in your everyday life in order to help combat inflammation, aging, inflammaging that's called, we'll get to that in just a moment, as well as free radical damage. So one of the nice things is that we know that food is medicine, right? We know that nature has supplied us with this bounty of amazing herbs, fruits, vegetables, etc., that we can use in our everyday life. And so how I want to look at this is really simple, is that a lot of people argue over, your macronutrient ratio, how many hours to fast, and all these different things. But we have to understand that there are certain foundational principles that humans need to live by. And I'm not going to repeat last week's show, so I do hope that you tune into that. I'll give you the episode number right now, and we'll link it up here today. So if you go to stephencabral.com/2153, I'll link up last week's show because I teach pretty in-depth on what antioxidants are and how they help with the body. But essentially what happens is this. Every time we eat, believe it or not, every time we breathe, every time we exercise, there's oxidation happening in our body. The oxidation is essentially creating free radicals. Those free radicals create inflammation and a breakdown of tissue in our body. They can create all sorts of dis-ease in the body, which again, I'm not going to get into today, but certainly can lead to cardiovascular issues, type 2 diabetes, blood pressure issues, cancer, which are the 4 main causes of disease. And they can definitely lead to weight gain, obesity, which is then a comorbidity factor for all the other metabolic issues that I just spoke about. So what we want to do is we want to look at this saying, well, what can we do in our everyday life in order to increase antioxidants, which then help squelch oxidative damage? The same thing as free radicals, right? Free radicals is oxidation. Oxidation is free radicals. So what we're looking at is the ORAC, and the ORAC is the oxygen radical absorbance or absorption capacity. That means how many free radicals can these high antioxidant foods absorb. And last week I went through the top fruit and vegetables that you can add into your diet. Again, whatever diet plan you're following. And then also this week, I want to give you the top 7 herbs. So let's go through those herbs right now. I'm going to keep it quick. I'm going to post them as well at stephencabral.com/2153 so that you have the list. And I'll try to get some of that ORAC capacity as well. So it's pretty interesting because most of us don't necessarily use this first one. And I, for one, think it's an amazing herb that I don't think is used enough. And that's cloves. So if we're looking at spices, which is what we're talking about today, herbs, dried herbs equals spices, I want to share with you that cloves can be an amazing one that you add to many of your dishes. Now, clove can taste really nice in a lot of different recipes. One of those is with squashes, or it's in soups, or with lentils. Sweet potatoes is even great with clove. Try getting the ground clove or grinding it yourself, or even fresher clove, and you could just use a hand grinder. It's super easy. Now, one thing is to just start off small, just a small amount. Remember, these are super potent, much more potent than even just fruits and vegetables, free radical squelchers. So start with just a small amount of clove. That's it. Try it out. And again, you don't have to have these same herbs every night. You should actually rotate your herbs and spices, see how your body reacts to them. Start small. What do I mean by start small? I mean a pinch, literally like the tip of a teaspoon. That's it. And maybe maximum, you're working up to maybe, like I said, 1 teaspoon per meal. That's it. We're really not talking about a lot per meal mixed in, and you can kind of sprinkle it over all your food if you really like the taste. Now, clove has been well reputed for years, well, for thousands of years, for toothaches. And we use it in a part of our CBO protocol because it's been shown to help with bacterial issues, candida issues. And we also use it in our parasupport protocol to help with parasite balance. So very, very powerful herb. I can't recommend enough. It's a fantastic one. All right. The second one on my list I want to share with you is cinnamon. So cinnamon is an easy one, and you can even combine a lot of these. So cinnamon is phenomenal on sweet potatoes, on yams. You can put it in your smoothie. Like a lot of people use our vanilla daily nutritional support. They add a little bit of cinnamon to it, and that vanilla and the cinnamon makes a really nice shake, especially if you add a little bit of coconut or you add a little bit of nut milk if you want. Absolutely delicious. So cinnamon's super easy, but cinnamon actually is antimicrobial in its own right. A lot of people don't know that, but it's phenomenal as an antimicrobial. However, it does something even better, which is for people that are dealing with blood sugar dysregularity, it helps with healthy normal levels of blood sugar. So cinnamon, another one of our top ones. Oregano is coming in at number 3. Oregano is a great one that you can try with a variety of dishes. Now, a lot of people might put oregano on things like pizza or in their red sauce. So anything that you have with a red sauce is where I'm recommending you get that oregano. Now, I'm not recommending that you eat a whole lot of pizza, but you can actually make healthy pizzas now. You can get a cauliflower crust. You can put some red sauce down. You can put a little bit of oregano. You don't even have to put cheese, or if you do, put a little goat's cheese or sheep's base cheese. Put a lot of veggies on top. You can make it however you want. You can put some chicken on, whatever you like on the top of it, but add a little bit of oregano. Any sauces, you can add a little bit of oregano to. A lot of people, if they have chicken, they might add a little bit as well. So again, I'm not a gourmet chef. I'll be bringing on some gourmet chefs in the next couple of months, so do stay tuned for that. But oregano is another great one. Again, oregano is antimicrobial, antiparasitic, antifungal, antibacterial. So it is one of the most potent ones for helping out your body when it needs a little bit of an immune boost as well. We've been using this for decades in our practice as well for oregano. So that's a phenomenal one. Turmeric, right? We've heard about turmeric for the last couple of years. What's it good for? Well, it's actually good for blood sugar. It's good as potentially an anti-cancer. It's great as an overall powerful antioxidant. It's great for balancing healthy levels of overall inflammation, and inflammagine may also be great for things like Alzheimer's, because again, it's helping to control inflammation. So turmeric's a great one. Turmeric has a very strong flavor when used a lot. Now, here's the nice thing. You can make a turmeric tea. That's easy enough. You could take turmeric in a capsule if you really wanted to. That's one you can certainly take. I would use it with what's called biomarkers. So it's a little black pepper. So if you can, try to get that in the capsule as well. Turmeric, though, can be juiced. You could do it that way. Turmeric is also great in a lot of like beans and lentil-based dishes or a lot of curry-based sauces. So if you like curry, great to mix that with too. Speaking of that, or just speaking of spices and things that you can add to certain sauces, is mustard seed. So mustard seed is another one to add in there. A lot of people like mustard. A lot of people like mustard seed. Just make sure that it's actually a true mustard-based product. So a true mustard-based product, you want to make sure that there's not all sorts of different fillers and things like that added to it. If the first ingredient it was not mustard seed, you're probably not getting that much mustard in it. Now, remember, all of these come in powdered variations, okay? So if you don't want to buy fresh, you can buy the cloves, you can buy cinnamon, you can buy oregano, you can buy turmeric, and you can buy mustard seed as a powder. And it's super easy to use. Mustard can be used on any type of, mustard powder can be used with any type of chicken-based or tuna fish that you might be making, anything like that. And you can mix that mustard with it, and it's actually pretty great. One thing that we do is we actually mix a little bit of that mustard powder with some olive oil and some lemon to make and sometimes like a dash of maple syrup to make our own healthy dressings. So now you're getting the full potent antioxidants in there with that mustard-based seed. So that's a really nice one as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. I want to give you 2 more from my list here. And the next one is ginger. This is one of my favorites. It's been for so long, and that's because it's good for the kidneys. It's good for nausea. It's good for headaches. It's good for allergies. It's good for histamine issues. It's also an antimicrobial in the gut. it's just such a great one and herb to be using. Now, ginger, you can certainly mix it in certain dishes, fish dishes. You can put it in your dressing. Ginger dressing's amazing for salads and vegetables. But you can also just drink ginger tea. A couple Friday reviews back, I gave you my top picks for my favorite teas, my favorite companies. If you haven't seen that, you can simply go to stephencabral.com/podcast, and you can just search for those teas. It's just a couple weeks back. And so ginger is an easy one. It's easy to put in a smoothie during the wintertime. A lot of people like to warm up their smoothies during the cold weather. You just put a thumb of ginger in, you take the skin off, right? You just peel the skin, pop that piece of ginger right in there. You've got a nice ginger taste. It actually goes pretty well with like pineapple and blueberry. Pretty delicious to put that in there. You can juice ginger as well. So any way you can, get a little bit of ginger in there. All right, we're going to go through one more today. And actually, I'll give you two because I didn't want to make this list too long. I'm going to give you two more because these are both very, very easy to use. The first one is chili. So chili powder. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I don't like hot chilies. I don't like this. You can add a little chili pepper. If you've never tried this before, a little cayenne or chili to your coffee, to your shake in the morning to add a little bit of heat to it. So I do that again in the winter for certain people, might add a little bit of spice to it. You can add it to certain chicken dishes. You can add it to a rub on any type of meat. And it's a really nice way to boost those antioxidants. So that's a great one. And the last one I'm going to give you is parsley. So it's kind of a bonus one. Parsley is one that I'm a big advocate of. And here's the thing, you don't need a lot of it. So you can certainly use dried parsley, or you can get fresh parsley and garnish any meal with it. And we're talking about maybe a tablespoon of fresh parsley. So what you're getting is a lot of that bitter in there that gives you another flavor and texture to your meal. It can be put over rice dishes, which is what we sometimes do. Cilantro, parsley, all of those are kind of included in that. And it's going to give you a lot more antioxidants as well. So again, these are very simple things to do. The cloves, the oregano, cinnamon, turmeric, ginger, mustard, that includes your curries as well, your chili powder, and also your parsley as well. Adding these in is going to be one of the simplest ways you can get more antioxidants into your diet on a nightly basis just by adding it to your dinner or even adding it to your lunch as well. Both work totally fine. And what it's going to do is help with the overall inflammatory process in your body, which means it's going to help with the overall dis-ease with the body, and it's also going to help with aging. So can't recommend enough. I will list these today at stephencabral.com/2153. And of course, if this show was helpful, please do feel free to share it along with anyone you believe it could serve. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And believe it or not, it is already that time of the year. And just to make sure that you make this your absolute best year yet for overall wellness, body transformation, and anti-aging, I need to make sure that you are aware that once a year, this time of year, every year, we offer $500 off the Big Five. That means you are getting already a discount of $600 if you were to purchase all of the labs separately every single day at Equalife. So we take $600 off. Now, what we're going to do at this time of the year is offer another $500 off. This is the absolute best savings you will see anywhere for the Big Five labs to look at your food sensitivities, to look at your heavy metals, to look at your mitochondrial energy, to look at your gut health in terms of bacteria, yeast, to look at your omega-3 and inflammation levels, and so much more. It's going to show your vitamin levels, your mineral levels. I cannot recommend them enough. I really can't. I used to run them once a year. I now run the Big Five twice a year. I feel it to be that important. You want to make sure that you are not filling up that rain barrel. You want to make sure that you are not on the cusp of moving towards dis-ease. Your job is to make sure that your body is balanced at all times. The Big Five is going to show you the underlying root causes of so many health imbalances. I want to make sure that, again, like I said, this is your absolute best year ever for wellness, for body transformation, and for anti-aging. And the best way to do that is by saving over $1,000, an extra $500 right now this week while supplies last. We have just about 100 Big Fives that we are doing at this $500 off. And of course, each one of them come with a 90-minute health coaching consultation with our team to explain the results and also design a program built just for you. This is why we can't offer 1,000 of these, because we're actually giving 90-minute consultations with each one. There is no better deal out there right now, and there is absolutely nothing better in terms of personalized wellness than the Big 5. You can find it right now at StephenCabral.com/Big5. That's just BIG and the number 5. StephenCabral.com/Big5. I hope you take advantage of this. Have your best year yet.